Hi everyone, if you guys don't know me yet, my name is Allison French and I am a senior at Blackstone Valley Tech in the Culinary Arts program. I am the class of 2022 and what I'm going to be making for you guys today is two different types of cheesecakes. One cheesecake is going to be a replica of a cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory, and that is their Snickers cheesecake. It's full of calories, full of dairy, and full of sugar. And the other one that I'm going to be making for you guys is a gluten and dairy-free cheesecake that is technically a Snickers cheesecake. They were both very good, but also very different at the same time, so let's get started. All right, so here's the mise en place that we have to get started. Today we are going to be making the Cheesecake Factory Snickers cheesecake. I'll put the link to the page that I used right under the video. But here is my mise en place. We have our whipped cream, we have sugar, I have my measuring spoons and my measuring cup. I have my paddle to beat with my grandmother's very old mixer. I have my Snickers, my 4 eggs, my heavy cream, and I do have graham cracker crumbs already made, but just in case if I do run out of the pack here, I do have some more graham crackers that I can shred up in my mixer. But this is everything going here. We also have our butter, and we also have my 9-inch cheesecake pan that we're going to be using to make it today. All right, so to get started on this one, I ended up taking 4 tablespoons of the butter. I used unsalted butter, but you could use salted if you wanted to. I cut my stick of butter right in half. I unpeeled it, and I ended up cutting it into 4 equal sections just so it could microwave quicker when it goes into the microwave. And once that was in my microwave safe bowl, I put it into the microwave for 15-second intervals just to make sure that I don't burn it. If you did end up burning it, it would change the taste and the texture of your cheesecake. And once that was fully melted, we ended up putting it into our mixing bowl along with our graham cracker crumbs, and we mixed that on a medium speed until it kind of had a packed consistency. I did check it with a spoon at first. That's what it should look like. We added it to the cheesecake tin, and I ended up doing a double batch of the graham cracker crumbs only because it wasn't enough to fill the whole pan. But I just did another 4 tablespoons of butter and 1 more cup of graham cracker crumbs, and that was perfect for it to go all the way around the bottom and all the way on the sides. I ended up going up 1 inch around the cheesecake tin just to have more of a texture when it comes out. And I put that in the freezer to set, and then we're going to get started with our filling. So I did end up fixing my recipe just to make sure if I did end up doing this next time, I won't forget to do the double batch of graham cracker crumbs. But here I am taking 3 packages of cream cheese out of the packages and putting them into the mixing bowl. I also added my sugar, and we beat that on a medium-high speed for about 2 minutes. I took my Snickers that were snack size. You could really use any size of Snickers, but I thought the snack size was going to be a little bit easier, and I cut those into 6 to 7 pieces. And once those were done, we ended up adding 1 egg at a time. We used 4 eggs in the batter. And here I am just adding 1 thing of eggs at a time, scraping the bowl as I go. We added some vanilla and along with our heavy cream, and we mixed that on a medium-high speed. Once that was all done, we took our Snickers that I cut up earlier and put that into the batter. And then we put the batter right into the cheesecake tin. I then put it in the oven for 325 for about 1 hour and 15 minutes, and that's what it should look like after. I did end up finally chopping more Snickers just so it looked good when I took it out, and also putting it right on top to have a finished look. I did put those on top of the cheesecake, and once that was done, we threw it in the fridge. And I'll see you all in the morning. All right, so it is now the morning. We decided to take it out of the fridge, and we decided to remove the cheesecake tin on it as well, just to start cutting it up. I took my chef knife and I cut it right down the middle just to get a nice clean slice to put it on the plate. I topped it off with some whipped cream along with some chocolate syrup, and I loved the finished look. All right, so I have my mom here. We're both gonna try the cheesecake. Remember, this is the Cheesecake Factory Snickers cheesecake one. There's like cheesecakes on the inside too. All right. Ready? That's really good.
It's really tasty.
Alright, so we are now going to get started with the raw Snickers cheesecake here. I have the recipe right here. Once again, I'll put it in the video under the video. But here is my mise en place for this. We didn't really need a lot of stuff, but it was a little bit time consuming. I do have my peanuts along with my dates. I have some more over here that did soak overnight. So if I do end up running out, I can just cut up some more on my cutting board here. And we have a couple more peanuts over here as well. We have our honey, our vanilla, our peanut butter, our cashews, we have some salt, and then we have our sugar-free and gluten-free chocolate over here as well that will be put on the top of the cheesecake. I'm super excited. We also have our cocoa powder here. Recipe's right in front of us. We have our mixer. Let's get going. All right, to start this off, I added my dates and my cocoa powder and our peanuts into the food processor. I did end up using a blender at some point, only because the food processor wasn't doing enough. So it was a thick consistency, almost like that. So we decided to add it to our cheesecake tin. I didn't go around the sides. I only went on the bottom. And then we got started with some peanut butter, our cashews, and our almond milk to make a thick and creamy and smooth consistency. I took my cheesecake tin out of the freezer, and we then added the cashew consistency right on top of our base. I then added more dates, some vanilla, along with some peanut butter and more almond milk to make sort of a caramel right on top. We added our dark chocolate chips into the microwave on 15-second intervals, and once that was all done, I ended up cutting up more cashews just to put it right on the top of the cheesecake. I then dumped all that out, and that was the finished product. All right, so just to have a little bit of a recap on both of those cheesecakes. My whole goal here was to really show that you can have something that is a little bit more on the healthy side and still have it taste good. Personally, for myself, I would go towards the Snickers cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory only because I love the sweetness and I love the consistency of it. But if I did end up being gluten-free and dairy-free, I would absolutely pick the second choice. The dark chocolate on it was amazing. It gave it a really good crunchy texture, and along with all the nuts. I'm a really huge cashews and peanut butter person, so I really thought that was a really nice touch on it. For me being the first time making cheesecake at my house, I personally thought I did a pretty good job. A couple things that I would have changed in the first one was making sure that I did have a almost glass kind of bottle or like a beer glass, and did push down onto the base and on the sides. Only because it was a little thick, and I did want to make sure that nothing was spilling onto the cheesecake when it was in the oven, which did end up happening. And also just to get it a little bit more tight around the edges. I just really wish I did that instead of just using the palm of my hands and the fist. And on the second one, I really wish I let it sit in the freezer for a little bit more time, only because I noticed after 10 minutes it did end up melting on me. But what I really thought was cool about the second one is that you didn't even have to use a mixer, and you didn't even have to put it in the oven. So that definitely was not huge on time consuming, when I could say that the Snickers cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory one did take a while. And personally, I thought both of them looked great while eating it and just looking at it. And other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video.